So what documents should be included in an estate plan? There are generally 6, 7, 8. It really depends. There's some flexibility there. But there are a couple big pieces that you need to have in there. First up is your will. That's the basis of your estate plan. That's going to say essentially what do you want to happen with your assets when you're gone. Next up is a durable power of attorney. Durable power of attorney is essentially a legal authorization for someone to act on your behalf. You want it to be durable so that if you're incapacitated, if you're in a coma, if you have dementia, that that power of attorney is still in effect and your family is able to help do what they need to do at that time. Next up is your living will. My father was on life support and thankfully he had an advanced healthcare directive, which also known as a living will. And essentially it laid out what he wanted to happen at the end of his life if he were ever on a ventilator. And that made the decision so much easier for us. And the way I look at estate planning, the ultimate goal is to make the process easier on your family. Whether that's grieving, whether it's dealing with probate, whether it's dealing with the entire process. Grieving is hard enough on its own, and if you can take some of that stress off your family so they don't have to worry about it and they can focus on the grieving, they can focus on thinking about the good memories that they had, and that's a win. And so living wills, they're not fun, but they are very important. HIPAA authorization goes along with that folks generally assume that, oh, well, I'm in the hospital with my family, I can get their information. That's not necessarily the case. Whereas a HIPAA authorization, most hospitals already have one that it's one signature, add a couple names. It's very super simple. It's super simple form, but having one can save a lot of time and a lot of headache. Next up is beneficiary designations. And this isn't, part of what you would have in a 3-ring binder that you receive from an estate planning attorney. But you want to make sure that your beneficiary designations are up to date. The biggest issue that I see here fairly often, surprisingly often, is that after folks get divorced, they don't always update their beneficiaries. So whether that's on a life insurance policy, a 401k through work, or a traditional IRA, they might leave their ex-spouse as their beneficiary. And the thought is, I've heard this several times, that, oh, it doesn't matter. I have a will. My will says that my life insurance policy goes to my kids. Problem is, the beneficiary designations will actually overrule what it says in your will. So you want to make sure that those beneficiary designations are up to date and they match what you want to happen with your assets. And finally, this is very unofficial, but I think it's something that's also really important. And that's an end of life binder or a death binder. And I've got a video that I'll link below that really kind of goes through what goes into that. But essentially, it's a binder that has a copy of birth certificates, marriage certificates, divorce decrees, anything like that. Basically a balance sheet, so your family knows what you own, where it is, and how to find it. And then just statements for different accounts, passwords for online accounts, anything like that that can make the process easier on them as they're going through that stressful process. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Thanks.